So before I begin, I want to give a shout out to one of the newest channels, and actually he's been around for a year, so he isn't really new, but one of the newest channels that I've discovered. And this channel will literally, if you aren't ready for it, it will make you cry, or at the very least, be very introspective and analyze things from a very sombering point of view. It's called the Thinking Men's Templar, MGTOW and more. Or we're just going to call it the Thinking Men's Templar for short. Go check out his channel. Link will be in the description box below. And also, shout out to Shake Duke Jackson on his video, which he done earlier, about his reaffirmation on helping black men instead of the Communitah, specifically the women of the Communitah, which leads me to what I want to say for my video on how the Communitah itself is the ultimate cult. And before I begin, I want to address some of you guys out there who, as of late, I have been noticing, have been insisting on bringing women into the discussion, particularly about the discussion on how black men can improve things. And quite frankly, black women should be among the last group of people we need to listen to on how black men can improve themselves. You're better off listening to racist white men than black women. At least the racist white men would be dumb enough to tell you the strategies of what you're doing and what they don't like about you, and if you're smart, you find ways to capitalize on that. Trust me, these alt-righters aren't as smart as they think. But for the topic of today's video, how the Communitah is the ultimate cult. Now, as all of you know, the Communitah, I've been on this Communitah shtick as of late, in which I've been talking trash and beating down the Communitah at its lowest, as I urge the rest of you guys to do so. Because, partially, it's fun. It's fun to do. It's therapeutic. Not as therapeutic as the Thinking Man's Templar videos. That's going on a whole nother level. But it's cathartic at the very least. Also, the Communitah isn't going to give you any reparations, so the reparations that you are due. And yes, some people want to talk about the prom. Yeah, the same people who tell them to shut up about the prom. Why are you bitching about the prom? They'll whine about things that they've never went through, like slavery or Jim Crow, or they'll whine about things that they self-inflict themselves with, like child support and baby mama trauma. But no, they insist on us complaining about things we've never went through. But forget about the things you did go through. Screw that. Anyway, I'm digressing too much. How the Communitah is the ultimate cult. A lot of people love to use the pastor and the preacher, and in many cases blame the pastor and preacher for leading the community down the abhorrent path that it's on right now. And they should. Shout out to David Carroll and a couple other people who do that. But I submit to David Carroll and the rest of the people out there who want to say that the black community is like a church. Nah. It's more than a church. It's a cult. How is it a cult? Well, for starters, you have a place, essentially a group of people who are led by a pre-selected charismatic few swindlers instead of meritocratically chosen people. The black community, as we all know, or at least the people or the men who are held in high esteem, tend to be the most charismatic group of people, tend to be the most interesting group of people, tend to be the group of people who can captivate an audience. Whether it's the pastors, preachers, deacons, or whether it's the ballers, players, shot callers, basketball players, athletes, or even your common swagified street dog. Notice how these are the individuals who tend to call the shots, or at the very least are allowed to call the shots in the community. I mean, we all know who the ultimate shot callers are, but at least when it comes to the people who are the front of taking orders, who are the head when it comes to getting all the benefits, it's these men, or rather should I say these males. And they make it known that these are the HNICs. These are the guys who are running the show. These are the guys who get the first pick, if you know what I mean. Also, like a cult in many cases consists of and targets those who really have nowhere to go. Now, some people say, well, if you have nowhere else to go, there's religion. But what about those who aren't even accepted into the mainstream religions? A lot of them will end up seeking after a cult. And it's the same thing when it comes to the Communitah. Let's face it, American blacks, for the most part in American history, had nowhere else to go. Yes, you had groups like Italians, Irish, Jews who, for a while, had nowhere to go. But for the most part, instead of whining and crying and begging Anglo-Saxon whites, or just whites in general, to be accepted, or kowtowing by either selling out, or, and when I say sell out, I mean literally selling out their own race in order to be right beside whatever they perceive to be white. And I'm not talking in the liberal democratic sense. I'm not changing it up on you guys, but there have been those who have sold out our communities to be closer to what we call the white power structure. I mean, your Messi Jacksons, your Al Sharptons, and now you're seeing it with your lip smacking Max, your Joyce Watkins, and other individuals. Even your HOTEPs are taking this direction. But as far as these individuals, they always target those who have nowhere else to go. And for the most part, Black America had nowhere else to go. We weren't included in any communities whatsoever. We weren't integrated into the American fabric, and some people say, and in some cases they may have a good argument about the fact that we still aren't integrated, or at least willingly integrated into the American fabric society. Fair enough. And a lot of people who talk about how, well, we came together in a segregation, we bonded, we had black love and black unity and all this other kind of stuff. Look, now more than ever, a lot of people are realizing that it was just a front. Blacks had to unite, otherwise it would be their lives, or at the very least their livelihoods. They would be a permanent underclass race, which in a way we're still heading that way anyway, despite all the so-called bonding and black love, and like all that is a farce. I'm more in line to believe that Obsidian's theory on the hate mating, hate breeding, that was more true than this mystical pulling out of your ass world of black love and black unity and Like a lot of what these HOTEPs and Negroes tell you when it comes to black love and black unity and Wakandaism, a lot of it is just a bad rendition of a digital underground video. That's all this is. They want to take you to another place, take you to Wakanda, where we was kings, and the women had big asses, but they served they man while speaking all Ebonics like this, and being blackety black black black, y'all. And it was like this and like that and like that all that's a lie. Black love in America is a lie. And I know I have to hit this on you guys. I know you guys are being shocked by this, but black love in America, it is the cake. And the cake is a lie. We had to stick to each other, which created the cult known as the Communitah. And then let's look at the people they recruit now. That Negroes recruit now. Everyone who isn't black, who finds themselves in the Communitah, these were the people who were rejected from their own race. Mainly because they were at the bottom of the barrel. You know, the wiggers and wiggettes, people who couldn't fit into white society, even white trailer trash society. If they couldn't even fit in the trailer parks, if they couldn't even get along there, they had a home in the hood. Or they have a home in the hood. Same thing for the Latinos who were even too ghetto to fit into the barrios. They were too dusty for the cholos and the fatos. Like this Tekashi 6ix9ine Muppet rapper here. I mean, look at him. Even the cholos said, "No, we can't have that, man. No. You go over there with mayates. You go over there with the negritos. Even they told Tekashi 6ix9ine they didn't want him in East LA and Hialeah, Florida, or in anywhere in San Antonio. I mean, so and we see it with the whites. We've seen it with well, I'll just say my examples. Oh yeah, Sean King. We've seen it with him. We've seen it with that chick who is now being accused of welfare fraud. And everybody's favorite wigette. It's whoa Vicky, bitch. Whoa Vicky in the house again. And I don't give a shit because I'll suck a nigga's dick and I'll make him come, and I'll make his friends come, and they can all come on me. They can all come inside me, and I'll have a baby. I'll have a black baby because I'm black. And I looked it up, and my grandmama was 3/4 black, and shit, because I'm proud of my people. I don't give a shit because I'm Mo Vicky, bitch, and I got an ass. You niggas love that ass. And yeah, I called you niggas but it's with love. I said it with the A. And I'm gonna put you on child support like the hood rat, black hood rat bitches would. And I'll learn to cook fried chicken. Because I want a black man night. That's what a lot of you guys like. Let's just call it down the line. Because yeah, they were telling this the sisters were telling Jolene while they were telling Jolene or that you were invited to the cookout when she thought they were talking crap about black men, or yeah, when they thought she was talking crap about black men, you Negroes out there. And by the way, Woke Vicky is legal, so feel safe to factor that tonight. But a lot of you Negroes will tell the likes of Woke Vicky and Sean King that they're invited to the cookout as well. That they can go to the club with you Negroes this Friday or Saturday night. as long as they put out. But yeah, let's continue. Oh man, what's the next point? Like a cult, you have to be weak-minded and conform to stay safe. The black community, or the Communitah, excuse me, the Communitah lives off weak-minded individuals and is empowered by those who don't question. Look at the past just 10 years in the Communitah and how much it has devolved. All because the members in the Communitah either conform to the slave-like, niggified ways, or even if they have questions within their minds on why do we sell drugs to our own, why do we get into these situationships where the height is baby mama, baby daddy drama, why do we worship at the altar of the sisters, why do we tell our daughters to go after the Pookies and Ray Rays and Man-Mans? By the way, you're I saw that bastard's video. I saw that bastard's channel got flagged again. Can't blame Moshe this time. Anyway, the Man-Mans and the Little Twins. Why do we tell our daughters to go after these kind of fools to pop their cherries to and to have kids with and to spend their youth with? Why do we tell our sons to put the worst kind of women first? And to go into the drug game or commit crimes just to impress scraggle eggs? Why do we tell them this? If you so much as even think about questioning the ways of the Communitah, then you are on the wanted list. You are targeted as an enemy of the state, and you are seen as a threat. You can't question anything that the cult known as the Communitah believes in. You can't question its morals, or what you call morals. You can't question its ways. You can't question its tenets. You can't question anything. Otherwise, you will be stricken down with the full force of the Communitah. You will know the strength of the Communitah. You will actually see black unity in order to discredit, demonize, and destroy you. That's if you step out of the boundaries. That's if you refuse to raise another man's kid. That's if you refuse to speak as if you came out of a plantation or a rap video. That's if you refuse to acquiesce to black women. That's if you say, my platform is to help black men and only black men. That's if you refuse to acquiesce to the wishes of your mothers and daughters and date subpar women. That's if you do any of those things, then you are on a list. You may not see it. In many cases, it doesn't exist. But don't doubt that you aren't on that list. Also, like a cult, the Communitah arranges marriages or seeks to arrange marriages, or maybe not marriages, but arrange relationships and couples to the point that the top leaders, as I said, the ballers, the thugs, to the whoopity whoop yo-yo boys, that those guys, man-mans and cool breezes, that they get the best of the women, that they get the best of the crop, and they get the best, and not just one for one, not just on the monogamy tip, but they will try to do a cheap, poor man's, jerry-rigged version of a polygamous arrangement in which they'll have all the big booty bitches, the fine women, the Instagram models, the virgins. They'll try to get all those women to themselves while you are stuck with the scraps. I heard one of these Pookies and Ray Rays, these elder Pookies and Ray Rays, these cool breezes, talked about, and I haven't heard him say it, but I have heard multiple people say that he and his minions, if they had their way, they would arrange marriages. Now, to be fair, there have been some other people who, like Rom Wills, who have said, maybe we should go to an arranged marriage system. But I know the context that Rom Wills was speaking in. And he was speaking from a position of matching like people with each other. You know, the Pookies and Ray Rays with Shaniquas, as well as the Carltons with the Stephanies. And okay, that's one thing. I mean, I'm not for arranged marriages in general, but if you insist, let it at least be fair and equitable. But with these cool breezes, these man-mans, these little twins, if they had their way, they would have the best women to themselves. They would have all the virgin women. They would have all the women coming out of high school to themselves. And a continuous rotation until their demise. Just rotating all the women. Just bringing them in, taking them out. Bringing them in, throwing them out. You know what will happen? Or you know what the result is when they throw them out? These pure women, these women who are actually worth something, at least when it comes to youth and beauty, these will be the ones who end up having kids out of wedlock, or having bastard kids, I should say, having scars, being ran through, having all sorts of miles on them. And you know who they arrange marriages with when it comes to those who aren't on top, or at least those who the Communitah would consider not on top? Your educated ass. They will have you to take care of the leftovers. They will have you taking out the trash. That's basically the slogan of a lot of these pro-blacks, a lot of these Pookie and Ray Rays, a lot of these man-mans and little twins. It's time for you to take out the trash. Vote for me 2020. Y'all heard? We see the gig. We see the shtick. And we see the manipulation that a lot of these guys desire. They want, as I said, just like the HOTEPs. Now, I'm including the HOTEPs in this because that's what a lot of them want to when they say, oh, let's save the queens, y'all. Let's save the queen. God save the queen. When they say, let's save the queen and black woman is God, and all this other pandering stuff, yes, in many cases, they're trying to get pussy themselves. But what's not being said is that they want you to take out the trash. And we all know what that trash is. Don't fall for it. And I'm almost done, so bear with me. Are you not entertained? Anyway, last point. And this will solidify my point on how the Communitah is the ultimate cult. Unlike religion, You don't just leave the Communitah. Just like cults. When you try to leave a cult, they'll put up all sorts of social resistance and try to convince you to stay. But if you rise above that mentally and decide to leave, then yeah, it looks like you're in the clear for a bit. But when you look at your six, when you're about to close that last eye for the night, when you think the coast is clear, there they are. And it's the same thing with the Communitah. You don't just leave the Communitah. No. You get those who shame you for it, who scold you for it, who tell you you need to come back. You need to help the women and the children. And what about the children? And you got to take out the trash. And you need to help Sugar Booga and her 3 children by 5 different niggas. And you need to do all this. And you need to do all that. Well, I can take the barely legal black girl who wants to go to college, and I can shine a few things in front of her, manipulate her, and get her in my car, and show her the power of swag, and have her to myself. While you sir, you take care of you can take care of that girl when I'm done with her. And it isn't just that. There are many other ways. On social media, on the internet, and in some cases, many cases, real life, you will have relatives who will scold you for moving away from where you were raised. You will have so-called friends, acquaintances, and other people within your community talking about, when you gonna move back? When you move back? Man, I need a job, man. Can you hook a brother up, man? Or they'll just ask you. Sometimes they'll just ask you for money, man. You hook a man up. Let me hold 20, man. Man, that car is nice though. Yeah, that car you driving nice. Yeah, that suit you wearing, that Armani suit you wearing, pretty nice. That girl you got, that Becky you got, yeah, she look nice though. Huh. How would you feel if one day, I just came in, I just had my game, and know what I mean, man. I know I'm sitting on my couch though, but that's temporary, man. Shit, I've been sitting on my couch for 3 years. And I've been on that Juicy Juice Lunchables diet. I know, but I can take your girl any day. Because I got swag. That's all you need in the Communitah. Or community. I got a rhyme, though. I'm working on my raps, though. And I'm working on my studio. Don't worry about that. You just worry about your car and your job and your Becky. Even though fuck those Beckys. I don't fuck Becky. What are you talking about? I don't fuck Beckys. I fuck sisters. John Kravis. Man. You said you fuck Beckys? You hitting on Lawrence's girl? No, Suge. Man, I was messing with him, man. You old G from the block. You old friend from the block, man. No. Don't fall for it. More importantly, don't let the shaming languages and sometimes the threats get to you. Don't let them hold you back from escaping the ultimate cult known as the Communitah. Free yourselves, whether it's to Africa, to the Caribbean, to South America, or whether it's to Europe, Asia, wherever, or whether it's outside the community in general, even if it's the American white community, just escape. Find a way out, and the first opportunity you can, take it. It may be hard at first, but in the end, you won't regret it. And you won't be under the guise and control of that fucking cult known as the black community. Everyone else out there, always bet on X.